I've got something really cool to show you today. We're going to be taking a look at some hidden Chao gardens that you most likely have never seen before. Some of these are hidden gems and frankly deserve a lot more attention than they currently get. First up, we've got Gerald Robotnik's biggest secret. No, it's not the Biolizard, it's his Chao garden. He managed to create a special space colony arc Chao garden before getting arrested by Gunn. I myself only found out about this garden fairly recently, but it's actually been around for a few years now. I love the idea of this garden. I think it's really cool to see a location in Sonic Adventure 2 be given a Chao garden. Being in the space colony arc while raising Chao is awesome. Now, full disclosure, Gerald didn't actually make this garden. This garden was included in the Dash Adventure 2 mod pack and was mostly designed by the lovely Shoutout, who also created the enhanced Chao World mod too. This garden doesn't get a lot of use as it doesn't currently have a standalone download, so actually using it requires you to have the full mod pack on. It also does have some compatibility issues with some of the bigger Chao mods like Chao World Extended, but I thankfully was able to get it working with Chao World Extended and Enhanced Chao World thanks to a patch made by Marcel Lane that isolates the garden from the rest of the mod pack and helps it work a bit better with Chao World Extended. So shout out to them for helping me get this working. I think this garden is one of the most visually pleasing gardens out there. It's so cool being able to see the earth through the glass floor. Really makes it stand out compared to other gardens. The Dash Adventure 2 mod pack also comes included with two other pretty cool custom gardens too. We got the Marble Zone garden from the original Sonic the Hedgehog and the Mystic Mansion garden based off the stage from Sonic Heroes. Both of these also add in custom models to the Chao garden and are very well done. I particularly like the Mystic Mansion garden. The skeleton that looks over the garden is awesome, and I really like how they added in the lobby staircase too. These three gardens in this mod pack are all really creative and well done. I myself would really like to create something similar to the Art Garden soon. I think there's a lot of untapped potential when it comes to reusing in-game models. A garden using areas of Cityscape or Radical Highway would be great, and that's only listing a couple of examples. There are dozens of areas that could be ripped from either Sonic Adventure 1 or 2 that would make great Chao gardens. Speaking of great Chao gardens, this is the CG Construct Garden developed by Rabu. This garden is fairly hidden as well as it doesn't actually have a publicly available download yet. We got editor Choa jumping in here after the video's already made. I did DM Rabu and they actually posted the mod on Game Banana right as I was in the middle of editing this, so shout out to them. This garden is based off of the Gary's Mod map with the same name. It brings a city setting to the Chao garden and has lots of details. There are posters, multiple buildings to go into, and even functioning waypoints, which is not particularly common amongst modded gardens of this magnitude. This garden was so good, it actually won the recent Chao Garden modding contest hosted by Mindacos, as it was the best neutral garden that was entered. I hope this mod gets published to Game Banana soon. I believe the version I have is just a beta, but it is pretty much entirely functional, excluding the odd slightly janky collision or waypoint issue. But pretty much all custom gardens edited this much have significantly more of those issues, so Rabu did a great job in that regard. This is also one of the first fully custom modeled gardens to be based off of another video game. I really hope we see more of these in the future, as there is a ton of great options from other games to add as Chao gardens. Speaking of other games, this is the Tamagotchi garden developed by Vegas Solus. It is a very new garden that only came out recently and is based off of the Tamagotchi series of games. It adds a bunch of really cool decorations and custom models into the garden that your Chao can interact with. They won't really do much with them on their own, but it is very easy to place your Chao in these new decorations and take cute screenshots of them. You can also place your Chao in this little pool, which is really cool as well. I used to play some of the Tamagotchi games on the DS, and this garden does a great job of recreating the happy vibes from those games and inserting them into the Chao garden. This is easily one of the most fun gardens out there, and I'm really excited to see more custom modeled gardens like this in the future. For the next garden, we're going to switch over to Sonic Adventure DX, as we have got the Sonic X Chris Thorndike Mansion Garden from the Sonic X TV show. This is easily the biggest Chao garden I have ever seen, as it covers the entire grounds of the mansion. You can swim in the pool, explore the grounds, walk through the mansion, and even chill in a cute little Chao Playroom. This garden isn't exactly the most practical or useful garden for raising Chao, but it is fun to explore and great for getting cool screenshots of your Chao. I haven't personally watched the show in years, so I can't really vouch for how accurate this recreation is, but regardless, it does have a ton of details added. Due to this size though, it is quite hard to actually find your Chao in the garden. During this recording, Choa is supposed to be here somewhere, but I cannot find them for the life of me because of how big this garden is. The garden's size also makes it hard for the Chao to actually do much, since proper waypointing of a garden this size is basically impossible. Despite that though, I do really like this garden. I think it's awesome that someone took the time to add this into the game. We really need more interesting gardens like this added to Sonic Adventure 2. The next garden I've got here to show you is the Destiny Island Garden. This garden replaces the Egg Carrier Garden and adds some cool new tree houses and areas to explore along the beach. This garden is considerably smaller than the last one, which is good since it is actually somewhat reasonable to raise Chao here. The Chao won't walk along most of the areas on their own, but they should have no problem chilling on the beach or swimming in the water. I personally love beach settings in games, so this garden really appeals to me in terms of its design and setting. I also really like how they added a little waterfall to this one area. Very cool. I don't think I've ever actually seen footage of anyone in this garden except myself, which is quite sad because this garden's design is great. It holds up really well compared to these other gardens despite the waypoints not being perfected yet. And on the topic of waypoints, I really hope future Chao Garden designers are better able to create functional and usable custom Chao Gardens. Recently in Sonic Adventure 2, we saw the release of the Chao Playground Garden, which drastically changed the Dark Garden without messing up the collision or waypoints of the garden. I really think we need more gardens designed with this as a priority. Now, waypoint editing and modding is still uncharted territory for most modders, I get that. But at the same time, designing with that in mind can solve a lot of issues. I covered the extended Chao Gardens recently, and as much as I love those, they were not designed with these principles in mind at all. These gardens are very ambitious in their design, which I like, but at the same time they're almost too ambitious, as it is going to be nearly impossible to get the Chao to behave the same in this garden as they do in the regular Hero Garden. Despite its compatibility issues, I think the Art Garden actually does a really good job with this in terms of its scope and design. Despite it being fully custom modeled, the garden is kept rather small and circular in shape to allow the Chao to actually properly walk and navigate the garden. Future custom modeled gardens need to be designed similar to this. With waypoint editing potentially becoming more accessible in the future, I think there will be a great opportunity for developers to create more gardens similar to the ones I covered here today, but with them being more functional and practical for actual Chao raisers. I myself would really like to develop a custom garden based off of an area from either Sonic Adventure DX or Sonic Adventure 2, and will be 100% designing it with practicality in mind, as I hope other future mod developers do as well. Well, I think that's everything I got here for you today. Thank you to everyone who's already clicked the like button, it helps out the channel a lot. And shout out to all of the channel members and supporters. Without you, I would not be able to create content and stream regularly. Thanks for watching, I hope you have a great rest of your day. Take care.